Explain on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Because there's 4 of us right here who can make that.
I can make it. Be here at 6 o'clock at 6. You're in traffic. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we're on to item 1.
Could I also?
Oh, yeah, put that away. Yeah, put that down. I'll look
Okay,
at that one.
we're on item number
But Jim's not-
3A, high school stage curtain replacement, which I believe is
Bid already.
Mr. Shaw.
Yeah, we already did before, this is just the bid now.
Yeah.
Right. Do we have, anybody have any questions, or?
I don't have a question.
No, I wanted to know if the two things that we're voting on tonight, the high school stage curtain replacement and the high school wireless clocks, if those two items were advertised, or where were they advertised tonight?
I gave Marty that question. He's ready.
I believe, as usual, Viv puts everything in the call and on our website per the timing requirements that are required. To know those exact dates right off the top of my head without asking her, I can't say definitively, but they were in the call and they were on the website. And I did send, like the wireless clocks, I sent to 2 different people to make sure that they had it. I thought I'd see back from both. I only saw back from one. And curtain replacement, that was advertised, and we got one back on that.
Is there a website or something where you can post RFPs for?
I don't know, is there a
services?
state website that pulls out these? I don't know, that's a good question.
Because I stumbled upon one when we
The
were.
state has one to do their bids for their purchasing department. I don't know if there's one for state towns, they put it on a state website. That would be nice.
I think there is one out there, I'm gonna have to find out, because I stumbled upon it when I was looking.
There is one for the state, the state has.
No, I mean, just like if you have an RFP that you want and you're an electrician, there's a
Oh, okay.
segment where all jobs that you're seeking bids on is posted there. I mean, I think, who's gonna read the call?
No,
Right. First you have to buy it.
Yeah. no, some people usually if you know 3 or 4 vendors, you fall.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's,
Make sure that.
I don't think that reaches a big enough net.
No, I
So
agree.
That's why we have one bid.
We've already approved these, right?
Yes.
We had already approved these.
Yeah.
Yes.
I and it didn't occur to me when we went over them the first time, but with the wireless clocks, is there, so I'm gonna ask this, and I'm gonna qualify it, because I haven't worn a watch in about 5 or 6 years, because there are clocks everywhere. What need do the clocks in the rooms fulfill beyond the
So
try to do a
they
buzzer?
are timed with the bell system,
Right,
so that so long as every clock is on time, and some of them, with most in the building right now, there's only 4 that currently work, and it might be down to 3 by now, that work with the existing system so that they keep time with it.
yeah.
Everything else is batteries. They could, if the kids decide to sit there and take it off the wall.
But I guess that's what I'm asking, why does the bell system need to be tied into every room in that? Why wouldn't the bell system just be tied to one master clock?
It is,
Okay.
but then each room knows, if the teacher's looking to see what time, and without the principal here, I mean, I'm sure teachers look to see, okay, I've still got 5 minutes to go. And the kids sit there, well, geez, I thought it was only 10 after, but now the bell rings because it's supposed to be quarter after. You know what I'm saying? It's,
I guess my point is, looking around this room, I see about 32 clocks right behind me, all running during the day, and then,
but they're not synced up to.
I know, it's one of those things that I'm sitting here looking at, we're spending $20,000 in 2016 on a clock on a wall, when you've got, every person in the room has one directly in front of them.
Most, if not all, college campuses
Yeah.
use these systems. Pretty much every school that I've done.
Yeah, and don't mistake it, I'm not asking you to defend it, Marty, I don't mean it that way, it's just one of those things that it's kind of like, I look at it and I go, when are we gonna change how we do?
We've made progress.
You know what I mean? There's so many other things that we made progress. And it's not for you to answer, it's just one of those questions that I
It's a
just,
good question.
I agree.
because you know, that's, 10 stipends that we fund somewhere else, on,
Yep. and
kids'
this-
field trips or programs or what have you, so.
And this system is expandable, and is carrying a repeater to, in the event that something happens in the middle school. It's a campus system, so it will be able to handle both buildings. Should that system down there go down?
Steve, must have or nice to have?
Sorry, please?
Must have or nice to have?
A must. I understand you all feel
I'm
differently.
just asking you the question.
I can't see a building with no clocks in it in a school. I mean, we use them all the time. Teachers use them all the time. Kids use them all the time. They're not gonna pull out their cell phones. There's a lot of things that happen during the day according to that. And the beauty of this is the old systems were all hardwired. And to replace an old clock would cost almost $150.
No, I understand why it's wireless.
It's, if we were in a different age, maybe Art's right in the next millennium, whatever, but unfortunately right now, it's, I guess you'd call it traditional.
Martin, I want to pick your brain a minute. I'm still back to where we're advertising. No offense to the call of Valley Breeze, but when I see the town put the ads in those papers, I think, how many plumbers, how many contractors are reading those and looking from there? Did you, in your previous employment, use any type of website to post, or where did you find it effective?
It was usually on the web and on our webpage. We did get one bid from Texas on the flow machines that we approved at the last meeting.
Oh,
So,
really? And that was
yeah.
just from having it on your website?
Yep. I wouldn't believe it. I asked all my vendors if they'd even heard of the company. None of them had. I couldn't even find a local representative that repped it. They wanted, when I looked up on that website, they wanted me to become a vendor in order to find out where the rest of the vendors were.
That's called a pyramid scheme.
Well, which is the reason why they didn't get the bid.
Move this along.
But
Do we
anyway,
give the bid specs to potential vendors?
Yeah, that's what he does. They do.
yeah. Yep, I sent it to American Time and Signal and to Simplex for now.
Any more questions about the high school stage curtain replacement or the wireless clocks?
I make a motion to approve both as submitted.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. The next item is the LED lighting project approval.
You might as well do the one parking lot light that Bill needs. .com. I make a motion to approve the LED lighting and the LED lighting of the one pole in the back of $41 million.
So you're making a motion for 4 and 5.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Now we're on to this.
Now we're on the budget update.
You're up.
Okay, we went through budget, and looked at where we were, and updated a few things. We've updated the salaries and benefits based on the recent ratification of the NSTA contract. We looked at, we adjusted the benefits based on our rates, and the adjustment for the NSTA contract again. We adjusted the student transportation to come in line with the 4.12 hours over per day, which is where we left off.
$5,100 in there too?
5250.
Yeah, 5250, 5250. That's right. That's right.
I was gonna miss that 150, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
We made adjustments to any purchases that you approved, could be taken from this year's surplus that were included in the FY17 budget. We updated the PPS out-of-district placements to where we are currently. So basically, in the end, we came out ahead about another $95,000 that we could reduce the budget by. But things to keep in mind, take into consideration, we're on the verge of needing another half-day preschool classroom that could be added. With that, there would be also transportation. I think in the preschool fund balance, I could probably handle most of that. I'm not sure how much the transportation would come in at. I might not have enough to cover all of the transportation.
The big
It
one
would
is
be
the-
for 1 year only though.
The The big one you have here, Lisa, and I read this, is the 8 new applicants at
Right.
the target text.
But wait a minute, we have eight, I read this and I still didn't understand. We have 8 there currently.
New enrollment.
No, wait a minute, we have 8 there
So we have
currently.
8, 4 exited because they're seniors.
So we only
that
have-
left us with 4. We have 8 new
Applicants,
applications.
okay. And when
So
has
that's really-
has guidance, I mean, it's typical for a lot of kids to apply and then
No, I
one
get
or
it.
two
No, I
to go.
understand.
So has guidance verified with those kids who were accepted, or have they gotten an acceptance yet? I mean,
They have
everybody
not
gets
been
accepted.
accepted yet.
Huh?
They
See, I
haven't
would reduce the
got-
budget.
They haven't been
We'll get
accepted.
there.
Yeah, no, I
So
agree.
there's a
I
process.
agree.
But I just want to make it a point that I don't think that necessarily means we're going to
They
have
are
8 plus 4.
accepted?
No, it's just a placeholder, and then we might have to.
We were lucky if we got 2 or 12.
Yeah,
But-
They're getting their acceptance letter
As
now.
we speak.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to get caught up because I think they get a year, so we haven't had it final. I met with a student today who said he got his acceptance letter, so just told him they're coming out. So I was surprised.
So I'm hearing two different things. Does it typically mean if 8 apply, 8 go?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what we've seen in the past.
When
Does
you
it-
say 8 typically apply, you 8 usually go. Our enrollment,
Candidly, yeah. They usually all get in.
No,
Oh,
no,
right, no,
but
but
they go.
Do they all go?
Oh, do they go?
Yeah.
That's a different question.
I don't know. I guess we can find out.
No, I'm just curious, that's all.
Usually it's a pretty, I look at the application that I have to sign, it comes into me before it goes over. Usually at this point, because they're 10th graders, they're really committed once they apply, but I don't have that data from them.
No problem.
Oh, yeah, you want to tell
yeah,
them?
they can continue to apply also till August 31st, so they could get more.
Lisa? So, your proposal is to put in another half-day preschool?
That, I had a request from the PPS director to, that's her recommendation at this time, based on the enrollments in the classroom and, for potential enrollments next year. They're watching it very
The
closely.
department's recommendation, someone's recommendation.
Yeah, well, she's watching it very closely, it's not definite.
All right. So, you also, on preschool, charge, right? Or is I
Right, no, they do.
That was a good way.
No, you charge, right? So when you say it's gonna be about 95,000, is that net, or is that
That's in the fund balance.
less, is it, I
So,
don't remember how much it is.
so I didn't put anything in, 95,000 is, my adjustments without any of the additions. The 95,000 was with the decreases that we identified.
These are items that, she's 96,000 feet. These are items that would eat up the 96.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that what eats it up, is that the net amount or the gross amount?
Big numbers,
There's
this
no
one.
amount.
67
No
grand
amount
is this one.
increase.
This is the small
She's
items.
saying,
Oh, I misunderstood.
that Jim,
So
I think,
these things were
I was
potential.
confused at first, but I think I understand now. I want to ask, say it out loud for Lisa to say yes or no. She's saying that, yes, the PPS may need these extra positions and the busing for them, but there's $91,000 currently in the fund, the
Exactly,
tuition
yeah.
fund account,
Correct.
not including what we will collect for next year's tuitions from those kids. So, that's right, we've got $91,000
Yeah.
today.
So we'll cover most of that. I'm not sure about the
Right.
transportation, because if we have to add another bus, that could use all of it.
Technically,
So,
that's a gross.
you know, it's kind of a wait and
And that
see.
would be like
What I'm
5
saying
grand
is,
plus
we've identified reductions that total $96,000.
Okay,
But
thank you.
these things could eat that up very quickly, so I wouldn't run out and reduce our budget for next year, because one kind of offsets the other at least.
So what would you recommend? The town council is gonna give you a funding number at some point. Then you're gonna have to finagle your budget to get it to work anyways. So are you gonna wait for them to give you a number and then finagle it to make it work? Is that your recommendation? Because that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would wait to see what they give me, and
Yes,
then
There
I
is,
fool around, move lines around to get it to work.
there is one thing I'd like to address about this, though, to make the change now, if we could. I don't I looked, I didn't realize it at the time, but when we did this budget and accepted the budget that was proposed, when you looked at the way it's set up, the last several years, the anticipated general, the Medicaid, and the rental revenue, those three totals were equal to the total budget we were requesting and the total expenditure. This year, she didn't include the rental in the general fund, and with the general fund and the Medicaid. So that total, I thought, when I looked at this quickly, was, oh yeah, same as last year, it's those three, but then I waited the other day, I said, wait a minute, that line only goes up to 2. Last year it went up to 3, the year before it went up to 3. So, and then I added them up and realized it wasn't added in there. I would like to add the 50,000 of rental revenue to the general fund revenue, you know, the anticipated revenue,
Then you gotta
and
go
50,000 to the expense.
You could put 50 and 50, you get the
Yeah,
same point.
it's the same thing, but I just wanna,
So as you know, you committed those funds, and I tracked those funds in the special revenue fund,
I know.
separate from the general fund. So if you'd like me to do that, I would have to transfer that money into the general fund.
but you've been doing it that way
I
for the
haven't
last 2
been doing
years.
that for the last 2 years.
No, when you gave us the budget for the last 2 years, this same sheet, you included the revenue and the expense for,
The town council adopted it that way.
no, you presented it this way.
Maybe there was an error on that page then, because what should be on
I know
that
what you're
page
doing. I
is
know what
just
you're
the
doing.
general fund.
You're doing it.
If you vote to have me move those funds to the general fund, I will, but I can tell you it's much neater and a lot easier to track to have it all in one place.
Figure out.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me nervous is I looked at every budget of every school district in the state, and they all list the rental revenue under the general fund budget. And they list it as a source of revenue,
No,
and then
I don't have a copy
they
of
put
every
the
school district
expenses.
in the
I'm
state.
happy to share with you tomorrow. I got them. Might as well spread them out. But I'd like to do it, and I looked at the way the region's budget is proposed, and it seems to suggest it's supposed to be in there as well. And that's the way, the last 2 budgets that you presented, Lisa, this sheet did have the rental revenue included in it.
So wouldn't it be a
We're
separate
changing
line
this
item?
year.
Wouldn't it be included in the total, but it would just be a
Yeah.
separate line item?
No.
Is there a reason?
No.
No,
Separate fund,
unfortunately.
it's a separate fund, just like any of your other separate funds.
Right, but I think you're talking about the total sheet on the front, right? So you'd include it as a separate item under there.
It
like-
is.
He needs in the total
No,
budget
in the total.
request.
So the total from the general fund only represents what is in your budget.
Could you keep it as a separate
The
set of
general,
books?
that is what we present to the town council.
That's what she's doing. Keep it a separate set of books and just put another thing that says, here's the revenue, here's the
It's a
expense.
subsidiary account,
And
so
then-
you can keep everything.
Oh, I see, I'm sorry, I see, total general fund. okay.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
this is
so
supposed
Yeah,
to,
no, I
general
got-
fund,
I got
here's
it.
another column that says special
Yeah.
fund, 50,
In other words,
50.
this is a systematic control.
That's the way we do it. Yeah, we'll do it that way. We'll put the 50 down.
huh?
We can put the 50 down.
We need 50 down.
Well, the 50 in the expense line.
Yeah, so we add, can we make that modification?
Sure, make more.
I make a motion that we add the rental revenue to the total anticipated revenue for the general fund, and that we put a line item for 50,000
All
in
funds.
capital outlays for rental revenue as well, increasing the revenue and the expenditures by 50,000 apiece.
So to be clear, you're asking me to move the funds
No,
from
no, I don't
the
wanna move
special
it. I already
revenue
No,
fund.
we can then commit the funds.
Seconded. All right.
You're asking me to
Okay.
move the
I don't want to
funds
move,
from the
he's
special
calling
revenue
general, I'm
fund.
calling all funds. It's
No,
different.
so Lisa, I
He's
think,
asking you to move it to the general fund.
I don't want to move
Fine.
to general, I want to call it all funds. We have 2 separate funds, so you gotta keep it separate.
I think Lisa,
It is, because then what happens, he steals that money, and then the other guy's got a bad.
No, I think keeping it separate-
It's exactly what's on the line.
So the 25.
You gotta get 0 for that
1.504
Yeah.
is your budget that you presented to the town.
right.
In order for me to up that, it becomes general fund. The only
Right.
thing that gets presented is the general fund.
So why wouldn't we just adjust the wording on the page to reflect that your general fund and the rental?
That's what I want.
Say this again?
You adjust the word.
Not moving the money, keep the 2 separate funds, because I think we need to keep them separate because it's easier, right? I mean, that makes sense.
Mike doesn't want to keep it separate.
No, but
I want to do it the way
it's
you
just,
did it the last
just the
meeting.
summary sheet. So you'd adjust the labeling on the summary sheet to reflect that it has the rental income in there as well. That it's a general fund and rental fund. Am I not making sense?
No, you made
Okay.
The motion was made second, I called it.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think that's the proper way to do it. Because each of the funds has to be identified. You have to identify all of your funds.
We have that.
So, and I didn't bring my book, but so this top sheet here that Mike's talking about is labeled revenue and expenditures, general fund. But the top, the overriding name of the sheet, so is there another sheet under here that just shows the 50,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got it committed over here in the column. So, right. So I think the question is, as I'm understanding, and I didn't pick up on this at first, but the question is, why is the non-school facilities use column not added in just like the Medicaid column is?
Because Medicaid is in the general fund.
Right, but as long as you identify it as a separate fund, you could still make it part of the total. Now, I mean, it's a wash either way, because you've got 50 and a 50 out.
The total is the general fund. That total is the general fund, that's, if you look at your budget, it adds up to your budget. That's just the general fund. Medicaid is included in the general fund.
Well, your concern is if you put it in the general fund, the funds might get used for something other than rental revenue expenditures. Typically, in the form of
potential is
improved
there for
sports
that, but
facilities.
also, it's much easier to track. If you're identifying, you're approving and identifying certain things, to be spent against that, it gives you a nice little picture, it's all in one place. You can see your balances rather than intermingled with 2,000 other accounts.
When you put it in the last 2 years, you put in the line item for the expense of capital outlay. And then as you allocated those funds and made the purchases, you put in that same little category of capital outlay, what it was you purchased and how much. It wasn't, I could look at that spreadsheet in a second and tell you what you spent the money on.
So I guess what I'm hearing is it's a reporting difference, not a functional difference, because the account is always the same,
Control difference in this.
City count.
right?
Isn't it control?
Well, I mean, I have to check with Ride to see if they want me to carry in the general fund, I'll have to check with Ride to see.
I mean, if you do that, you see the control difference. I mean, I think isn't that the issue that, I think that the previous budget committee each year pushed for, and that was, we don't have the authority over that. It's town council's purview to approve it or not, and it was forced into our general operating to pay bills. And that's what it's
No,
about.
council doesn't have any authority to dictate how we spend our money.
They wanted to declare it as
There was
revenue.
certainly that attempt,
They can attempt. It's rental
But I
revenue.
think what I'm hearing, Lisa, is not that we're not asking you to move the money. I think it's a difference in how it's showing on that final balance sheet. I don't think anybody.
Mike's motion was to move it into the general fund.
Well, no, to include that figure in, not to move the money. His motion was to include the figure, not to move the money.
I didn't write the motion, he's talking to us.
So I guess, all right, so,
Well,
well, let me see if we
Move
can,
the question,
it's just not fair,
It's not.
because that is the total of the general fund, that's your total budget.
so it was to.
And why, Lisa, did you include it last year and the
I
year
really
before?
don't know, Mike, to be honest with you.
I would have, if I had been able to pass out papers tonight, I would have brought.
all right, so wait a minute, we're arguing over nothing here.
Right.
We're
Because
not going back, we're moving forward.
can you just look and see how you reported it last year and just compare the two and see if there's a difference?
And if it was put that way and there was an error,
Then just let us know. Just let us know. If it was included in error last time,
We can,
and this is the way
we
it
can
should be
discuss
done,
it next
let
week.
us know.
It's not a big
No,
deal.
we're not, no, we spent far too much time on it.
It's okay.
Okay, so the
So it
motion
makes
is
no-
to
it makes-
include the rental revenue account in the number in the budget in the general fund,
Both on income,
And expenses.
both on
correct.
income and
makes
expenditures.
absolutely no difference. And
Mike made the motion, Jim seconded it, do I need a roll call vote? Okay,
Business records,
Mr. Lombardi?
Yes,
which would be
Mr.
just-
Raymond?
Yes.
Mr. Clifford?
Yes.
Mr. Bassett?
No.
Mrs. Nato, yes. Motion passes 4-1.
So you make this clear, you stated you want it in the general fund, so that means I have to move it to the general fund.
Yes. And you're gonna set up a line item for committed revenue expenses, $50,000.
Well, can't you do that, though? Is
You
there?
just authorize.
No, you authorize, but there's not a color account that says committed rental.
You got it.
I don't care.
Is it?
No.
I didn't think so. Right.
So then we have
Voted for
to,
it.
Lisa, if we voted not to have you commit the funds, then you wouldn't need to put it in the committed rental account, right?
Say this again?
If you just created the line item for capital outlays, fields, and athletic equipment for an expenditure, and we voted not to have you commit the funds, then there's no accounting issue. It's committed in that it's targeted in that line item, and you've identified how you're gonna spend the money.
I don't know if there's a line item, you can call it, that's the.
It has to be.
Yes, no, you code a line item for capital outlay, right, Lisa?
Well, yeah, but there's other stuff in there. We'd like to have one that just say
That's
field or,
that they
you know.
use it on.
She had it once.
But you realize that's also gonna increase your budget for the
Right,
year.
right. But the revenue's gonna offset the expense increase.
The zero sum.
Okay, is there any other
So
questions?
any excess
one more
that
item.
you bring in is.
I know,
gonna
are there any
go
other
to the
questions for
operating
Lisa
budget.
with
No,
regard to
no,
the
no.
budget?
Yeah,
That's
shove
what
it
you
up to
did
the balance
today.
sheet. Put in the
Now, that's
balance
what
sheet,
you
a
just
separate
voted
account.
for.
Does anybody have any other questions
At the end of the year, if there's a surplus, we can transfer it into the.
for Lisa?
The
Okay, there's one more item on the agenda.
the rest of the general.
Mrs. Jalette asked if we could allocate $500 of funds for the purchase of food and drinks.
Okay, all right, you're looking at me, because I'm gonna be the bad guy.
No, I said it already, so don't.
Why you
I
have
vice chair, I'm
$500?
not the chair.
Vote,
already
Now,
said
it's
500
$500.
was mine.
What are you gonna eat for
Mrs.
$500?
That's what I
I'm
said.
just saying what
I'll
the
def-
next item is, so what is your
I'll
pleasure?
defend it, I'm just saying this is what the position is, that we're going to have candidates coming and going during a lunch, during a dinner type hour, we're going to be starting at 4 o'clock some days, and we're going right through to, say, 9
The
o'clock.
principal gets a discount at the pizza place, or a couple of pizzas.
No, that's what we're doing, order pizzas,
They're two
salads,
for $20
drinks,
at the place.
so that when
So you're gonna be
when both committee members,
They're two for
subcommittee
All right.
With a
members,
Coke.
can I end this?
With the
Motion
coupon.
motion to approve
He
an
knows.
amount not to exceed $500 towards food for the superintendent search.
Is there a
Wanna make it
second?
250?
Is there a second?
who seconded? Mike, I wanna hear Mike second it.
But you
Are you
seconded
seconding
it?
it?
Leanne will second it.
We're just kidding around.
Is there any other discussion?
I'd have my book.
Is there any other
Ah, you're
discussion?
killing me.
I stopped the beef pie tonight.
Do I need a roll call for
No,
this?
no.
Well, Mike?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Put down unanimous.
Never.
Oh, you're gonna rub it in, Jim? I'm gonna have to change my vote.
Is there a motion to adjourn at
We had fun.
7:37?
Motion to adjourn.
And it's
Second.
it's not on the agenda, but can we
Never
discuss
refuse a motion.
next week's special meeting to add things to the agenda? Like, can we?
You can talk about about specifically putting things on the agenda. You can't talk about the agenda right.
Right, but
Like,
can,
we can't have a discussion
Is
about
there,
it.
can we take a vote on the motion to adjourn?
oh, I'm sorry.
All in
Yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay.